Philippine vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. says the government is targeting to secure at least 148 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines for the country in 2021. The 148 million could cover some 70 million Filipinos, assuming 2 doses are needed per person. Galvez says the 148 million figure is based on current negotiations with more or less 7 vaccine companies that the government was in advanced talks with, including Novavax, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Sinovac, and Gamaleya. But he mentions no specific dates on when vaccine doses from these companies may arrive in the Philippines. Meantime, Quezon City enters into a deal with AstraZeneca to secure 750,000 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine for its residents. It is the first local government to sign a deal for a vaccine. Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte says Tuesday, January 5, the 750,000 doses are good for 375,000 people, or around 13% of the city's population of roughly 2.9 million. In related news, the Health Department and the Philippine Genome Center says the more contagious UK variant of COVID-19 has not reached the Philippines yet. This development comes after Hong Kong health officials detected the UK variant of COVID-19 in a 30-year-old female Hong Kong resident who returned from Manila on December 22. Philippine Airlines says the passenger submitted a negative COVID-19 test result before the flight to Hong Kong. The Makati City Prosecutor's Office says the death of 23-year-old Christine Angelica Dacera needs more evidence. It orders the release of 3 detained suspects on Wednesday, January 6. The release order means the charges recommended by the police did not suffice to find probable cause. It was also not enough to move the complaint forward to a court. The police have to establish 2 things: whether Dacera was raped and/or killed, and if yes, who was responsible, and Dacera's cause of death. The police earlier announced the flight attendant died of aneurysm and argued she was raped simply based on injuries on her arms and legs. 12 suspects, all men, were last seen with Dacera on New Year's Eve in a Makati hotel before she was found dead the next day in her room's bathtub. Police Chief General de Boldesinas earlier issued an ultimatum against the other 9, telling them to surrender in 72 hours or be hunted down, even without an arrest warrant. Meantime, the National Bureau of Investigation is set to conduct another autopsy on Dacera's remains. The initial autopsy of the police found injuries on her arms and legs, but no observations pointing to rape have been released. The police refused to release their autopsy report. The Dacera family on Tuesday, January 5, also said it scheduled another autopsy. The Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, suspends the hike in members' contributions that was supposed to take effect this month. In a statement on Tuesday, January 5, PhilHealth says the interim arrangement will be good until Congress is able to pass a new law, allowing the deferment of the scheduled adjustment. It says the suspension was in response to President Rodrigo Duterte's directive to defer the increase. PhilHealth will still collect premiums from direct contributors using the 3% instead of the 3.5% contributions rate, and the 60,000 pesos instead of the 70,000 pesos ceiling in calendar year 2020. The state health insurer says if there will be no legislation to amend the Universal Healthcare or UHC law, it will proceed with the scheduled premium rate and ceiling. Senator Grace Poe on Tuesday files a bill which seeks to suspend the scheduled 3.5% increase, while the House of Representatives also says it is ready to review the provisions of the UHC law. Metropolitan Manila Development Authority Chair Danny Lim dies Wednesday, January 6. He was 65. A week ago, Lim announced he tested positive for COVID-19. Malacanang announces Lim's death Wednesday morning and extends its condolences to his family. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says Lim served the Duterte administration with professionalism, competence, and integrity. The details of Lim's death have yet to be announced by his family. A West Point graduate, Lim led the failed 1989 coup against then-President Corazon Aquino. He was also involved in attempts to bring down the Arroyo administration. The retired Brigadier General was Deputy Customs Commissioner for Intelligence under the Noynoy Aquino administration, but resigned in 2013 due to corruption in the Bureau.